Hi there, welcome back. So in our previous session, we had some basic understanding around the event mesh architecture and some of the basic questions around what is event mesh and what are the advantages and disadvantages. So let's understand how are we going to work on the event mesh and what are the prerequisite in terms of the system access or the instance creation, what we are supposed to do. Okay, so one thing we should be knowing that event mesh, this particular service is not available in the trial account. This is what we discussed yesterday as well. So you should have the proper account to access the event mesh, the paid account. Otherwise, you will not able to explore this capability as a service. So what we will do, I have gone through one of the very wonderful blog actually, and I'm highly recommending you should be going through this particular blog. And it's basically tutorial, step-by-step tutorial where you can have a very basic understanding of event mesh. So by following this blog, I try to implement a couple of things actually. So what we will do, we will just try to unwrap some of the things. We will not be having access to the system, but it will actually give you some idea if you're going to appear for any technical interviews. So at least you would be able to answer some of the things. And in terms of the architecture, what is the recommended way you are supposed to build your integrations in terms of the event driven architecture. If you want to suggest is what all the things you need to understand from the system perspective as well. So first and foremost, we have to create an instance. So for creating an instance, we should have a BTP account available with us. So we should be having one of the BTP account we should be available with us. And once you log into the BTP account, you should have that particular entitlement available for you. So we will go into that account, and here you need to search for the service. When you come here, you need to search for event mesh. So if you will having, you will get that particular service available over here. So since we are in the trial account, we are not having that particular service. So what will happen? So once you log into the your basically your account where you are taken the license version of the BTP. So you have to come to this marketplace and you need to search for the event, and in the event you will have that event mesh service available for you. So you need to add this service, and you have to make sure that you should have this enterprise messaging developer role is also assigned to the developer. Okay, so this is one of the prerequisite because you need to create some queues and all. So once you add this particular service, then you need to add an instance. Okay, so for adding an instance, what you have to do? So for adding an instance, we have to go to the BTP cockpit, and on the BTP cockpit, here we are having instances and subscriptions. And when you come to instances and subscriptions, you have to click here and you need to search for that event. Okay, so that event mesh service based on that, and then you will select the plan. So once you all these details, okay, so it will add an instance for you. Okay, so the plan is actually default and event mesh. We have chosen as a subscription, and once you have this installation actually is in the process, you have to give a JSON file actually. So you would be needing this set of information. This needs to be provided so that when your message client will be created, when you will be creating a message client for your instance, here you need to provide this particular JSON format file. So this is just a sample. And here we need to make some of the changes like EM name. So what is this M name? It's basically the name of your messaging client. So within your event mesh, you can have multiple messaging clients as well. So every message client will have dedicated queues and topics, which the consumer will be subscribing the specific queues. So same way, if you are creating a specific message client for a specific set of queues and topics, that you can manage in a specific message client. So we can have multiple message clients actually. Okay, so when you are going to create a message client, you need to provide this EM name. So it's basically the name of the message client, and which should be actually unique for your specific sub account. Okay, and the next thing is namespace. This is again, it ensures that every message client within the sub account is actually unique. Okay, so it's having some fixed length, the 24 characters fixed length it will take, and the example could be your company organization name, then followed by a slash, and then some client name, and then unique ID. So it would be like your ABC is your organization name, then slash, maybe it is for the dev. So you can mention DEV and then 01 like that. You can maintain you based on the naming convention and all. Now the third option you will see over here, these options. So what is this option? So by default, everything is true, true, true. So this actually is used to define how basically it access the channels of your messaging client. So it will help you to set some of the message client specific information. So based on this, these parameters, basically by default, all of these are set as true. So if you select management as true and messaging rest as true, so it means when your instance will be created, it will be generated with some unique URLs. We will see in the subsequent step as well. So those unique URL will help us to send some messages to your event mesh or to the event poker. Actually, if you want to publish to a specific topic, or if you want to publish to a specific queue as well. So that is what you can do it using that particular endpoint URL. So unless you keep these values as true, you will not have those URLs, actually that endpoint URLs. So this option is actually referring to defining your access channels for the message client. And there are certain rules we have to also mention, like your publisher rules and the topic rules. So it actually defines what access and privileges for the specific message client we are going to give it. Okay, so we primarily we just make change to that EM name. That is one of the main thing that we have to name the message client if we are having multiple message client. So this is how we can manage our message client. So once we are done with this and the namespace creation, so here our instance will be created. Once our instance is created, we can launch the application from here itself. Okay, so for launching an application, we just have to come to the particular instance, and on the three dots you can see over here. So on the three dots, you have to just click it and you can go to that particular application. So that application will take you to the event mesh. So this is the landing page of the event mesh for your specific client. So here you will have, sorry, it's not the landing page for the specific event mesh. It is for the BTP cockpit. So here, once you create the instance, after creating the instance, before launching to the event mesh, we need to create a service key as well. So when you create a service key, now based on the service key, this XML, sorry, the JSON output actually, you're going to get it actually. You can, anyways, it can convert you to XML as well. But yeah, this is what the output you are going to get it as a JSON format. So this service key comprises of three sets of information, and it's very important actually if you see over here. So here, this is the AMQP credentials, the endpoints you are going to get it, and the service key and all. So using these endpoints, we are going to configure our AMQP adapter. Same way, you will find something for the MQTT as well. Okay, so these credentials or this endpoint, basically, we need to consider this, the URI and this token endpoint, all these details we have to use. And at the bottom, you will find this management and protocol. Okay, so this management and protocol are coming because at the beginning, when we were creating the instance, we have given this JSON file. Okay, so based on the information which we have selected here as a true, because of this, the instance, when we create, after creating the instance, when we are creating the service key, this information will be populated here. And these information are required if you are trying to use the APIs of Event Mesh. If you want to push something to a specific queue or to a specific topic. That is what we can do it over here from this endpoints. So once we are done with this set of information, then we can launch to the event mesh. Okay, so then we can launch to the event mesh, and when you are launching to the event mesh, then what is the next thing we need to create? So this is what the landing page you will look like on this section. This is what you will be getting, and these are the message client. These are the message client which we have configured while getting the instance. So let's say there are 3 messaging clients, and like that you will find some naming convention specific to that. You will find the detailed information about this. So on the left hand side, you will find the queue, monitor, resource allocation. All this information you can get it from the left hand pane. Or now what is the next thing? We have to create some queues. Okay, so the starting point would be we need to create some queues on a specific messaging client. So we will select a particular message client, and then we will create certain queues. And what you have to remember, so when you are going to create a queue, this enterprise messaging developer, this role has to be there. Okay, so that is what we have mentioned at the beginning, enterprise messaging developer. So this role has to be there to create a queue. And then you have to just make sure that queues are retained, messages are retained inside the queue until they are consumed by the subscriber application. That's the beauty about it. It will hold the message until it is delivered to the target. But yeah, you can, while configuring, you can also set some time duration as well. If the consumer is not available, automatically that message will get deleted. So that totally depends on what kind of configuration you are doing. But yeah, the message will be retained in the queue if the consumer is not available. Basically, if the subscriber or the the particular message is not being consumed by the target. Okay, so that's a thumb rule. Actually, the message will still remain in the queue. So now the first thing is we need to create queue. So once you land here, so when you select the particular message client, this is what you are going to see over here. So there are various tabs over here. The overview tab will give you an idea about how many queues are there, how many number of webhooks. So all this information you can see over here. And when you have to create a queue, so the next thing is you will just click on these queues. So when you click on these queues here, we can click on this create queue. So if you need to create a queue, you have to click on this create queue. And while creating a queue, we have to maintain some naming convention actually. So if you see over here, SAP/CS demo. Okay, so this is what is the namespace. So this namespace is created at the beginning. Okay, so when the instance was created, so this is the namespace it is referring to. So this namespace, whatever we have configured at the beginning, so it is referring to the same namespace. So this namespace will automatically added. So you will create a queue. Okay, so rules of event mesh queues are defined while creating an instance. Okay, so when these rules are created, so here under this rule section, you will find that what all the rules we have created, and these information will be defined under creation and instance. So what are the rules? So when we come here, who can subscribe, and if you need to subscribe, what would be the namespace, and if this needs to be published, what should the namespace? All these rules we have assigned here. So these are the default, whatever the template is provided to us by the SAP, we can follow this. Or if you want to specifically change as per the need or as per the organization's naming convention, you can do that as well. So let's assume that we have considered the default one. So once the queues are created, so while creating a queue, so once you click on create queue, what will happen? It will give you pop-up. Okay, so you need to provide the queue name. So whatever the queue name we are going to give, it will be saved with the prefix of the namespace. So SAP/CS demo is the namespace might be created, and then the Q1 is a queue name. So that is how it will be managed. Okay, so whatever the name you are going to give it, so it will be added with the prefix of your namespaces. And you can also assign the access type as non-exclusive or exclusive, what will be the queue size and total message queue size, and other information. Maximum delivery count as 0. And if you need to keep the respect timeout to leave as yes, means after the certain duration of time, if the consumer is not taking that particular message, that message will be deleted from the queue. That is what it is referring. So right now it is set as no. It means If the consumer is not available, the message will remain inside the queue. Okay, so now next thing is the moment you create the queue, this is how the naming namespace will come into picture with the namespace and then queue1. Like that, you will find entries in the queue. And after adding the queue, you have to subscribe these queues. Okay, so these queues needs to be subscribed to topic. So once you subscribe, so on the action button, when you click here, you will get a drop down over here. So you will find various options like you can view the queue, you can edit the queue, you can even if you want to delete this particular queue. If you want to delete this particular queue, this can also be done. And there is an option for purging as well. So purging means if this queue is having some set of messages, and if you purge it means all the messages will be deleted, but queue will be available. Okay, so if you want to delete all the messages which are existing in the queue, if you want to purge that message, then you can purge it, and you can also subscribe this queue. So that is what we will be doing. So on the action, when you subscribe the queue, then you have to give the name of the topic. What is that topic name we want to give it? So let's say here it is given as QS1. Okay, Q subscribe one, something like that. So when you delete a queue, associated subscription will also be deleted. So if I delete a queue from here, so automatically whatever the subscriptions I am having, those will also be deleted. So you can have multiple subscriptions over here, and multiple queues can subscribe to one. Multiple queues can also subscribe to one topic. So the same queue can also subscribe to multiple topics as well. And same way, multiple queues can also subscribe to one topic. Okay, so one queue can also be associated with multiple topics as well. These are the things you should be aware. So the moment a particular message is coming to a particular topic, so if that topic is being subscribed by multiple queues, so automatically what will happen? That same message will be going to multiple queues. So once the message is going to multiple queue, so whoever has subscribed to those queues, those consumers will start getting the feeds. So this is how we have to create a topic over here. And once these configuration done, we can also create some webhook. So what is webhook? So using webhook, the moment there is a message created in a particular topic and from topic to the queue, we can also connect to a webhook as well. So we have to select which particular topic, which particular queue we have to pick. So we have to mention the queue name over here. We have to give the name of that particular webhook. Okay. And here we are having quality of service as 0 and 1. So 0 means at least once, and 0 is at most once, means it will just make sure that it will just send the message and it will not wait for the response. Okay, so it's kind of a fire and forget. And 1 is at least once, so unless it gets an acknowledgement, it will keep on trying. So that is what the quality of service. And you can also enforce some exempt handshake. By default, it is no. So you don't want to do any handshake with the target system. So if you set it as yes, so before connecting or before sending to the webhook, it will first try to check the connectivity, and then it will send it. This is how. And you need to give the name of the endpoint of the webhook. So the webhook endpoint can be any open webhook where you want to get a feed, or it can also be an endpoint of your team's communication channel. And the typical example would be, it can also be configured with the endpoint of your cloud integration. So there can be a case where you want to send a request to the cloud integration the moment there is a message, or there is an event published in a particular topic via topic, and then from topic to queue, automatically it will be routing to the particular queue. So if you want to send the message to the target endpoint the moment there is a message in a specific queue, that can also be done via the webhook. So this is how we can do the end-to-end configuration. So the same thing we discussed yesterday as well. So if you have noticed in the previous session, so we have mentioned here that if a message is coming from this topic to this particular queue, and from the cloud integration, we can give the endpoint of cloud integration. So automatically it will hit the cloud integration, and from cloud integration, it will move to the target system. So this is how we can do the initial setup and manage queues and substitution. So this is what I have in my agenda. So I thought this might have given you some clarity in terms of event mesh. So I hope this will help you. Thank you so much.